the one-day-old monkey was found by a huge gorilla. What happened next was not expected. The first thing that hits you is not the sight, it is the silence. A silence so heavy it feels almost tangible, like the forest itself is holding its breath, waiting for something impossible to happen. In the dim morning light, shafts of golden sun pierce the mist, touching droplets of dew clinging to the emerald leaves. Each leaf trembles slightly, weighed down by moisture, releasing the faint, sweet smell of wet vegetation. Somewhere in that damp expanse of green, a sound cuts through, the faint, almost imperceptible cry of a newborn. A sound so fragile, so desperate, that it twists itself into the very heart of anyone who hears it. And there, in the thick underbrush, lies a one-day-old monkey, its fur damp and clinging to a shivering, fragile frame, abandoned by fate or perhaps by circumstance. Moments later, an enormous shadow passes over the infant. A massive silverback gorilla, his fur a cascade of dusk and ash, pauses, nostrils flaring, dark eyes wide with cautious curiosity. His movements are deliberate, each step a testament to power tempered by thought. And yet, in his gaze, there is a softness that no observer could have predicted, a tenderness that seems almost human. He leans down, letting the smell of earth, sweat, and old growth mingle with the acidic scent of the infant's distress. His hand, immense and scarred from years of survival, hovers over the tiny body. For a heartbeat, nature itself seems to hold a question in the air. Will instinct triumph, or will something deeper take hold? Before we move further, pause for a moment. If you're watching this, consider clicking like, subscribing, and leaving a comment below about where you are watching from and what time it is there. The story we're about to unfold is as much about connection as it is about survival, and your presence in this moment is part of that shared experience. The setting is not merely a forest, it is a living cathedral of green where every sound and scent tells a story. Rain has left the canopy heavy and dripping, the air thick with humidity that clings to your skin. Sunlight filters through layers of foliage in scattered beams, turning the mist into a fluid, golden haze. The earth underfoot is soft, a patchwork of decomposing leaves and moss that cushions every step, releasing a rich, earthy aroma with each disturbance. The silverback, known among keepers as Koro, has lived here for over a decade. His life has been one of quiet authority, a balance of strength and gentle guidance over his troop. Koro's intelligence is the kind that can read intention in the tilt of a head or the subtle tension in a shoulder. And his empathy is not learned, it is innate, woven into his very being by evolution and experience. Koro's relationship with the troop has always been remarkable. He is not merely a protector, he is a guide, a nurturer, and at times a silent philosopher of their small, self-contained world. He understands hierarchy, yes, but he also understands pain, fear, and vulnerability. And today, that understanding is about to be tested in a way no one could have foreseen. The infant monkey, named Milo by the keepers, is a fragile creature, barely able to lift his head. His eyes are closed, his small body trembling, with a mixture of fear, hunger, and the cold. The air smells of wet fur and soil, a sharp contrast to the faintly sweet odor of his newborn skin. Koro leans in closer, his breath warm and earthy against Milo's tiny form. He hesitates, then allows a tentative, careful touch, fingers that could crush stone now hovering as instruments of care. His hand brushes against Milo's fur, and in that instant, there is recognition, not of species, not of instinct, but of life in its purest, most vulnerable state. The tension of the forest seems to ease slightly. The crisis unfolds rapidly, though it feels slow when observed in real time. Koro's concern is immediate, but the environment is unyielding. Rain begins again, a soft patter that grows into a drumbeat, soaking the ground, washing mud onto Koro's legs. Milo's breathing becomes erratic, shallow, each exhale a whisper against the relentless roar of the storm. Keepers, observing from a distance, are caught between awe and fear. Dr. Amelia Green, a primatologist with decades of experience, notes the rapid decline in body temperature and hydration. "He's too small, too fragile," she murmurs. "One misstep, and we lose him." The acidic scent of stress, of fear and anticipation hangs thick in the air, intermingling with the damp, fertile smell of the forest floor. Every observer holds their breath, caught in the same delicate balance between hope and despair. Koro does not panic. His own body radiates calm, a deep, resonant presence that seems to ripple outward. He adjusts Milo onto his chest, careful, deliberate, the infant's wet fur clinging to the silverback's own coarse coat. There is a rhythmic, almost meditative synchronization in their breathing. Koro's chest rises slowly, deliberately, and Milo's tiny lungs struggle to mirror the pattern. The first contact is tentative, uncertain. Koro's massive fingers curl gently around the infant, not to restrain, but to secure, to shield. And slowly, tentatively, Milo responds. The trembling eases, replaced by a faint, fragile rhythm of trust. This moment, silent and profound, is the prelude to a revelation that astonishes even those who have studied primates for decades. Koro's behavior defies the strictest interpretations of instinct. He does not simply tolerate Milo, he actively nurtures him. He cleans the infant's damp fur, nudges him to feed from a small, nurtured supply of milk kept by the keepers, and cradles him through the storm with a patience that borders on reverence. Each movement, each sound, is carefully measured. His eyes, deep pools of cognizance, are attuned to the smallest flicker of distress, the slightest shiver of fear. It is as though he senses the pain that cannot yet be expressed in words. The hidden truth emerges in a quiet, almost imperceptible moment. Koro's actions are not solely about survival. They are about recognition, empathy, and perhaps a primitive form of what humans call love. The keepers, initially skeptical, note subtle changes. The cortisol levels in Milo decrease, the heart rate stabilizes, and a remarkable calm settles over the pair. Observations reveal that Koro's grooming and protective instincts are finely tuned to the infant's tiny cues. Every adjustment, every sigh, every protective gesture is a response to Milo's needs, not instinct alone, but a deep, intuitive comprehension of fragility. Recovery is slow and deliberate. Koro holds Milo through the night, the storm gradually receding to a gentle drizzle. As morning breaks, the forest exhales a collective sigh, the humidity softens, the wet leaves glisten with the first light, and the mist lifts to reveal a tableau of quiet resilience. Milo, once trembling and pale, now clings to Koro's chest with tentative strength. The first shared breath between them is a symphony of connection, inhalation, exhalation, mirrored perfectly, synchronized in a way that transcends species. It is not merely life being preserved, it is a communion of trust, a demonstration of empathy at its most profound. The philosophical resonance of this encounter lingers long after the immediate danger passes. Koro's actions remind us that intelligence in animals is not measured solely by problem-solving or social dominance. It is measured by the capacity for empathy, by the ability to perceive suffering and respond with intentional care. In the fleeting, silent communication between a gorilla and a monkey, we witness a sixth sense of love, an unspoken awareness that transcends language, culture, and expectation. It is the quiet, astonishing reminder that connection is a force of its own, unbounded by the constraints we often impose upon the natural world. As the sun rises fully, bathing the forest in warm amber light, Milo opens his eyes, blinking against the brightness, and gazes up at Koro. There is no fear now, only trust, recognition, and the faintest trace of joy. Koro responds with a gentle nod, a low exhalation that vibrates through his massive chest, an affirmation that echoes in the quiet canopy above. Their bond, forged in crisis, is a testament to resilience, to empathy, and to the capacity for love that exists in forms both familiar and utterly extraordinary. As we draw to a close, reflect on this story not just as a singular miracle of the wild, but as a mirror to our own potential for care and understanding. If you have ever observed a moment where the animal world revealed something astonishing about empathy or intuition, share it below. Tell us where you were, what time it was, and how it made you feel. Let this story be a reminder that love and understanding do not require words, only presence, patience, and the courage to respond to the fragile and the vulnerable. If this tale touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share this video. Your support helps us bring more stories like Milo and Koro to life, illuminating the quiet, profound connections that shape the living world around us. And take a moment, look at the animals near you, in your neighborhood, in your garden, or in the wild, and see what you might learn from their silent, empathetic intelligence. The forest remains alive, dripping, breathing, humming with the gentle rhythm of recovery and hope. Koro sits quietly, Milo cradled safely, the sunlight catching every strand of silver and gold in their fur. The world is vast, yet in this one tiny clearing we witness a truth as old as life itself, that empathy is not human alone, and that love, in its purest form, transcends species, circumstance, and expectation. It is a language without words, a bridge without structure, a miracle without audience. And as the camera pulls back, slowly rising above the canopy, we leave the pair in their sanctuary of green, two lives intertwined, two hearts beating in synchrony, a silent testament to the extraordinary possibilities of compassion and connection.